Hey everybody, I wanted to share with you a video I've been wanting to do for a little while now on the Star Wars living set. So this is a really cool a weekly set that they are doing on Tops. So Tops.com, where they do a lot of like these limited run card series where they're basically printing them to demand for like a week or for some kind of amount of time, and then they print however many are ordered. The Star Wars living set is one of these types of cards that they do, these in-demand card sets. And basically what it is they do Star Wars characters from any movie, or I think other kinds of media in the franchise, like maybe books and video games. So yeah, they do video games also. So pretty much any media in the franchise. And there's no real order to it. So it's two surprise characters every week from the Star Wars universe, and then they have those two cards only available for that week, and then you can't order them again. You can only get them on the secondary market, and then they do two new surprise cards the following week. So I have a complete set going all the way up to the most recent cards. I actually have the most recent last two. I just haven't gotten my binder yet. I'm ordering new card sleeves, so I'm waiting on those, but my collection is up to date. And if you're interested in following this living set and getting all the ones going forward, and maybe slowly working on getting the older cards, I would recommend just going to Tops, and they have a subscription service where they will just charge you every week automatically for whatever those two cards are, and then they just send them once they have been printed. So that's what I've been doing. I don't even have to think about it, and I just get every card because I'm going for a complete master set of the Star Wars living set. So I started getting these somewhere around the middle, I believe, or maybe 3/4 into the present set. And I had to go back and buy on the secondary market on eBay all of the older cards, especially like I think 1 through 100, and I forget exactly where I started, but I'm going to flip through my collection and show you the ones so far. You'll notice, so some of them are really printed high because of the demand or popularity of the character. So Darth Vader, for example, has a pretty high number of supply, and then there are a lot of characters like this guy Nien Nunb, who has far fewer. So a lot of people didn't buy both of them when they came out. They just bought Darth Vader. And then there's, I want to say, I haven't checked the numbers. You can check in an archive on Tops for the exact print numbers, but I think there's like less than 1,000 of Nien Nunb, and like something like 4,000 or somewhere in the thousands for Darth Vader and other popular characters. So that's a trend going through. And both are pretty respectable in value. You know, someone like the Mandalorian or the Child, Boba Fett, those kinds of characters, there's a lot of them because people ordered a lot of them from the get-go. And then, so there's a higher demand, so they're still pretty expensive relatively to get if you missed out on it that first week. And then characters who are not very popular, who don't have a lot of demand, still it costs a lot to get the card because there's so few of them that were printed. And then people like me who want to have the whole set have to pay a premium to get them. All right, so we have, starting with Darth Vader. It's pretty cool that they selected him for the very first card. It makes sense. Thrawn's a big one, of course, and this is the animated Thrawn. So if you ever see Thrawn in a movie, like a live-action movie, I think that would be an awesome card to have. They do the same character again if they appeared in a different movie, or maybe they're an older version or a younger version of that character. So that's the only Thrawn as of now. I really like the prequel characters like Queen Amidala. The cards that I'm least excited about personally are the Disney character ones, because I did not care for the films as much as the original movies and even the prequels. And I love the prequels, actually. Especially compared to the new Disney ones. So, but I won't get into that. That's a different conversation. So I'm just going to flip through the binder, try to pick out some of my favorite ones. So not too many standouts from this one. BB-8. So there's one character I do like from the new movies, but then someone like General Hux, not a huge fan of that character. But so you have to deal with, if you want the complete set, getting the Disney characters as well coming through. Savage Opress, I think that's from one of the animated movies. So they have a lot of the animated series characters, which is pretty cool. I never watched any of the animated stuff, but I like the art style on them. They still carry that animated look to them. Now Plo Koon is the most expensive, if not one of the most expensive. There might be others that top him, but I think Plo Koon is the most expensive one, and the reason is he's the least printed. So the supply is shortest, and because of that reason, unless there's another card in the future that is printed as less, even less than Plo Koon, there can only be so many completed sets as there are Plo Koons, or whatever card is going to be the lowest printed. So that one's always going to carry a premium. And he's a cool character. I'm surprised that he's so low printed. I remember playing like the old Jedi Academy video games, and I would always make a character like whatever his alien species is, one of these kinds of guys when I made my Jedi. So I thought that was pretty neat. I'm definitely a Plo Koon fan regardless, so not sure what happened there, why he's the most least printed character. I like this L337 from, I think, the Solo movie or Rogue One. I think it's the Rogue One movie. That was a pretty cool character. Imperial pilots. A lot of favorites in here, and then, Poe Dameron, like, not my favorite. So it's an interesting, eclectic mix as you go through. Just a real cool variety of all these characters from different trilogies and media. Ahsoka Tan, so definitely a popular card. I think this one was $100 or $150, something like that. So yeah, going back and getting all of these older cards, especially some of them are really popular. Some of them have just been, around on the market for a while, or were low printed. I had to. It was a lot to get all of these cards together. Jango Fett, popular one there, to complete these. But I'm really happy I did. So Luke Skywalker, I think that's number 100. Yep, he's number 100. Not too bad. High printed, popular character, but not very expensive. At least not when I was buying him, when I got him for my collection. And then after 100, these get a little bit more attainable. A lot of these cards I got very cheap in auction, except for ones like Mandalorian, I think Bo-Katan, a few standouts that are more expensive because of their popularity. This is really cool how they're taking some of the characters from the video games. They have Cal Kestis. Really like that. That's an awesome game. Forget, is it Jedi Fallen Order? What it's called. That's right. I'm actually the last boss on this, and then something like I got busy or something. I never got around to actually finishing that boss fight and beating the game. But love that game. I love when they make a really great Star Wars game. Let's see what's on here. So we have Yoda. Yoda. I actually don't think he's that expensive. There's some of these that are really popular, but there's just so many of them. They were just so, like, everyone went and jumped on Yoda, and I think because there's so many Yodas, it's just, not that expensive. One of my personal favorites, Gus Gano. So I played him for the Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer game on Nintendo 64. I always played Gus Gano with that green Pod Racer. Really cool, very nostalgic. And I like the art on these as well. Very realistic looking, except for maybe the animated ones. And I think there's several artists that do these. I think there's like one artist who does a lot of these with this like really realistic style. But I think there are a variety. I have to go kind of look into that. Darth Bane was probably going to be a big one going down the line as these cards start to get older. What's this guy? Sidon, Ethano. So he seems like one of those from the Disney characters who was like a cool character. I think he was one of those guys that just was in one scene, and then Kylo Ren like killed him and all the other knights. And we didn't find out like hardly anything about them in the movies because Disney was basically saving that backstory to make like books and other things to get people to buy and like find out about these characters. So he seems cool. I like the art on this guy. Would like to know more about him, but I wish the movies kind of went farther into some of this cool lore instead of teasing so much to expand it into other products. This was a neat one. This FN guy, this guy who challenges Finn, he calls him a traitor, and they have this duel in The Force Awakens. That's pretty cool. They made a card out of that guy, and they gave a little backstory on the back. So that's especially helpful with some of these characters that they just do not go into much depth with in the movies. You can look at the back, and they give you this little like paragraph of backstory and lore, which is fun. So try to read those before popping them in my binder and moving on to whatever the next week is going to bring. This is pretty cool, coming out of what was that show that Disney just did? The Bad Batch, right? Where they went back to Camino. Awesome planet. So, and they did a lot with these characters. I thought that was pretty neat. And they've started to bring out some of the Bad Batch characters. I forget if I thought I already had one of those in here. Oh yeah, here's so Wrecker up here, and then Tracker, I think his name, or that the bad guy, the sniper one. He's in the latest one. So that's it. That's the Star Wars Living set. Got a few more pages here to fill out as they keep coming out week after week, and then I'll be getting another binder to continue the collection. I am not going to be stopping collecting these cards. So happy to have gotten all of the earlier ones and just kind of paid up and gotten that done and over with, so I don't have to think about that anymore, and I just have a subscription for all the ones going forward. It'd be interesting to see, how this ages down the line. I don't really care if people, don't care about this set anymore. I think it's really nice to take out and flip through the pages and look at. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so these aren't something I'm investing in or anything. It's just something cool to collect and enjoy. And let me know, are you collecting this set? I know some people, I've heard, like Empire of Assets is a YouTuber. He talked about, just getting, he thinks some people will go after just a few of these, like maybe the Mandalorian or maybe Yoda or some of the really popular characters, and they're just going to go after those cards. And so maybe those ones will go up in value. I wonder if there are other people out there who are going to be looking for complete sets, and maybe the lower printed ones will be in demand in the future. Who knows? I am definitely one of those people who want the full set, and I'm sure there are other people out there. I just don't know how many. But it's something I'm interested in, and I'm sure other collectors are as well. What do you think about this set? Do you have any of these cards? Maybe some of your favorite characters? Are you collecting the full set? Are you getting maybe all characters from a certain movie or a certain era of Star Wars? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.